We rise by lifting others, no matter how small the gesture may be. I urge you to help someone today, tomorrow, and for however often you can. It not only makes them feel good, but also you. Let us rise as a nation. Thank you for joining in on another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do not move a muscle. The show begins right now.
Whenever you hear the following tone, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, will be giving information on an emergency situation affecting the island. Please be on the alert and listen to your radio and television for further information. This was a test of the emergency alert system, brought to you by ODPEM.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, August 13. Members of Parliament have voted to extend the zones of special operations, now in effect, for the Mount Salem, Denham Town, Greenwich Town, and August Town communities. The enhanced security measures will continue for another 60 days, ending at different dates in October or November for each area. The Denham Town and Mount Salem zones are currently in the build phase of the operations, while Greenwich Town and August Town are in the clear phase. On Tuesday, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang told the House that Mount Salem had not recorded any murders or shootings since the declaration of the zone in September 2017. The same is true for August Town and Greenwich Town. Meanwhile, murders and shootings in Denham Town have been significantly reduced since the declaration of the zone.
We remain committed to saving lives under the vision of achieving a safe and secure Jamaica. A deviation from these measures that have proven successful would be a deviation from this vision.
Government has signed a $25 million contract for a transmission main upgrade that will improve the water supply between 6 Miles and Blake Road in Kingston. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and other government officials signed the contract with M&M Jamaica Limited at Jamaica House on Wednesday.
This project will connect to the pipe that we already laid along the Mandela Highway. It will replace the old mains along Spanish Town Road to Blake Road it is. And this will ensure that the proper water pressure and consistent supply of water can reach the communities along that area and go as far as to central Kingston.
The Prime Minister says the laying of the pipes may cause some dislocation, but new technology will be used, such as directional drilling, which will tunnel underground for the mains to be installed underground where possible.
Now, this new main that is laid will last us maybe another 60 years before we will have to do any significant kind of maintenance to it. So we consider this to be a nation-building project.
The Justice Ministry and the United Kingdom's Department for International Development, DFID, have signed a Memorandum of Understanding for a project to strengthen Jamaica's anti-corruption framework and improve accountability and transparency. The agreement is for the continued unification of local prosecutorial services project. Valued at £1 million, it will be funded through the Serious Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Program. This is the second such MOU to be signed between the Justice Ministry and DFID.
The emphasis, I can say, of the British government is to reduce and eliminate, if possible, organized crime, and that is why they have given so much support to DFID has given so much support to MOCA and FID.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has signed a contract worth over $1.1 billion to meet the dietary needs of patients and health staff at the Kingston Public and Victoria Jubilee hospitals over the next 3 years. The contract was signed at the National Chest Hospital on Monday between the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SERA, and the service provider, Patsy Lynn Caterers Limited. It covers the provision of 3 meals a day for doctors and patients at the hospitals. At the same function, another contract was signed between SERA and Industrial and Technical Supplies Limited for the procurement and installation of a neurosurgical microscope at KPH. The microscope, which will be installed at a cost of $69.3 million, will be specially adapted for surgeries involving the brain and spinal cord.
It's really about the benefits to the hospital system, to patients, to Jamaicans. And that's what we're about, really. It's about how we position ourselves to give the best possible service to Jamaicans who use our public health system.
The Ministry of Education will be expanding the sixth form program in the upcoming school year. The news was revealed by Acting Chief Education Officer Dr. Kassan Troop during a virtual parent sensitization session on Saturday.
So our sixth form students now will be exposed to sixth form under 3 pathways. Pathway 1, which we call the traditional sixth form that you are accustomed to. Pathway 2, which we are now referring to as a technical sixth form. And Pathway 3, which is our general sixth form.
Dr. Troop says Pathways 2 and 3 of the extended program will be funded by government and will be in partnership with public and private tertiary institutions.
So some of our grade 11 students will pursue their sixth form program on tertiary campuses.
She's encouraging all grade 11 students to return to their high schools at the end of their exam period and indicate the area that they want to pursue. And finally, nominations are now being accepted for the 2020 Prime Minister's National Youth Awards for Excellence. The application period started on August 10 and will close on September 11. The award is open to all Jamaican nationals between 15 and 29 years old living in Jamaica or the diaspora. Applicants must have attained excellence in areas such as agriculture, entrepreneurship, journalism, arts and culture, leadership, sports, and academics. Nomination forms can be downloaded from www.youthjamaica.com, and the completed document must be emailed to pmyouthawardsja@gmail.com. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The JIS Heritage Competition is celebrating 10 years of youth expression on Jamaican history, culture, and tradition.
Let me tell you about what Bashment heritage.
Jamaica still needs national heroes to preserve our cultural legacy.
Bogo got his men and led them down over the hills to Spanish Town.
Jamaican music to me represents our identity and culture as Jamaicans.
Add your voice and play your part in preserving our national heritage. The JIS Heritage Competition 2020, coming soon.
A more secure and peaceful Jamaica. Sounds good, right? This next feature will show you the systems that are in place to provide you with the ultimate peace of mind. Take a look.
The police car remains one of the most important assets in the maintenance of public safety in our society. This fleet represents the continued thrust to modernize our police force. These vehicles are modified in a way that takes into account our terrain, our circumstances, and the requirements of policing in Jamaica. Along with other technology, we have been able to be more responsive to the needs of the public, which has supported us in taking on the new tasks and roles associated with the COVID-19 pandemic, even as we remain committed to our normal policing duties. These vehicles are equipped with tracking systems that will allow for greater visibility of the deployment of these assets, as well as greater accountability and fleet management. The systems will also make our officers more efficient on the job. Our patrol vehicle is a visible deterrent to criminals and a welcome symbol of protection and reassurance to citizens. We should never be challenged by immobility, in responding to citizens' needs. And this is a timely contribution as we increase our presence to reassure the nation. These vehicles will significantly advance the constabulary's modernization and transformation agenda.
There are 33 new bikes to come as well, because the bikes are a critical part of what we do, but all that reflects a continuing commitment to ensure our security forces is effectively equipped, efficiently positioned to deal with the kind of crime we have in modern Jamaica. This government is committed to providing an effective security apparatus for the country, and this is symbolic of what we want to do. And during the course of 2019-2020, we in fact acquired some 367 new vehicles at a cost of near $2 billion. That was the commitment of this government to continue with the development of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. In addition to the mobility, we have a whole new formation devoted to technology, which is important, as I said, in going forward, because without modern technology, we cannot function. Between the technology formation and our mobility, we are looking at improving the efficiency of the police force. And we have said, beside response time, there are other things happening. And I'm confident that as we proceed over this year and into the next, we maintain our commitment to giving the police force the resources they require and begin the process of expanding the numbers as we expand our training facility. The country can take comfort. We will overcome the disease of crime as well as the disease of COVID-19. This is the first signing of an agreement, MOU, with a private sector grouping to extend our surveillance activity across the island at critical business activity.
The JGRA commends the Ministry of National Security and the Jamaica I team on this initiative to make Jamaica a safer country. We as an organization are ready to implement this program with our members and encourage the entire industry to get on board with this initiative.
It is noticeable that in the last year in particular, we have seen significant increase in events targeting air business activity, which operates with a heavy cash load on a normal basis. So gas stations, supermarkets in rural Jamaica, and money transfer stations are prime targets for criminals who are focused on getting ready cash. In order to ensure we have significant reduction of this kind of activity crime, we have to identify, apprehend, and prosecute the criminals involved. That is the surest way of ensuring we can stop any criminal activity. And this means ensuring that we have enough eyes to identify the individuals. In addition to the need for first-person affidavits, we have developed the Jamaica program, which is extending our capacity to survey section of the island on a much more extensive basis. The entire system, the core of the system, is now in place, and we're now looking at expanding and developing partnerships with several of our private sector business groupings.
We further encourage other private sector entities to come forward and engage the Jamaica I with the aim of working together to reap the benefits of a lower crime rate in Jamaica. And we see this partnership as the next logical step to ensure that we support the country's fight against criminal elements.
If we all pull together, I can assure the business owners that the police can provide the kind of security blanket required, but it needs full cooperation at all times by all involved. So again, let me commend the Jamaica Gasoline Retailers Association for initiating this event, and we look forward to expanding this to other challenging areas throughout Jamaica.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JIS, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JIS has forged relationships with international funding partners as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities.
let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JIS, investing for community development.
August has been jam-packed with historical celebrations, and we are not yet quite ready to be done yet. Stay tuned for this next feature as it takes you on Jamaica's musical journey from mento to reggae. Not only is Jamaica a country of one people from out of many, but also a nation that stands proud in representing the creations of those people.
Relax, man, we'll soon get there. In fact, we are here, the Institute of Jamaica. This is where we're going.
What is this, Grandpa?
When you go in, you'll see. Come on, let's go.
Oh, where's a carry me someplace where me no want go?
You say you want to be a musician? Well, you have to come here. Let me show you where the music is coming from. Step inside. See, this is where I want you to come. You see how far Jamaican music coming from, Kadim? These are Tainas, the first people, and see, they're playing drums and dancing. And look at these African instruments. That's when the first Africans came to Jamaica. Now, I bet you don't know what this instrument is.
Rumba box?
It is a rumba box, and you hear that in what kind of music now?
Mento.
Mento, that's what makes the mento music so sweet. Now, look at this. This is jazz music. Jamaica had a rich tradition of jazz. Coming right out of Alpha Boys School, you see it? Right after jazz, the same jazz musicians were playing R&B.
I found my thrill.
That came from America. And when the R&B dried up from America, then they started making Jamaican R&B. Jamaican turned the R&B around and made their own Jamaican style of R&B music, which then led to ska.
It was the beginning of independence. Ska was looked upon as the new sound of Jamaica. We find in our own identity, not following the American R&B or the ballad or the middle of the road kind of music that was coming from North America and Europe. And so it was very nationalist in its outlook and output.
Gather together, be brothers and sisters, we're independent. Join and stuff and children started to dance, we're independent. Oh, be sad and blue. The Lord is still with you. God bless, no one curse. Thank God I'm not the worst.
Seems like the music always speak about social issues.
A lot of the music is about social issues. After all, life is music and music is life. After ska, you got Rocksteady.
Rocksteady, the rhythm, the ska still continue, but the bass rock. And the guitar and the piano, ska same way. But the bass, the emphasis on the bass. So you fall back and
Well, it look as if we can hear music here.
I like this, Grandpa.
This
nice.
is rock steady. No, you should have seen me and your grandmother in those days. Rocking steady.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Yes. That's Alton Ellis, you know.
Yeah.
Great rock steady singer. But we turn down the people things here. Next thing, they throw us out of here. And go back to watch this thing.
But Grandpa, you've been talking about Jamaican music for how long now? And until now, I haven't heard anything about reggae.
Well, we're coming right up to reggae now. Here we are, reggae. Well, first of all, many people say that reggae was born at Sir Coxson's Studio 1 on Brentford Road.
Clement Dad brought a piece of machinery to the studio for about a year. It was sitting there. And no one knew exactly what to do with it. And so they hooked it up one day and decided to implement it. And they discovered it was a tape delay. And so they hooked it into the machine and they started doing it into the recording. So when they put the guitar sound through the tape delay, it comes back saying that. The rest of studios hearing this recording out, they thought it was the guitar making that and just copied that, and that was the birth of reggae music.
I want to do the reggae, girl, with you. Yeah, come on to me.
Here are some of the great artists who came out of that. Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bonnie Livingston, the Wailers, Burning Spear, and so on. Now, reggae was also a way of life. It was the greatest advertisement for Rastafari.
I think it's my time to teach you a little bit.
What can you teach me?
Come right here, sir.
Oh, dancehall. I know that's when you were going to get happy.
It was just a little bit different in the 80s where you have more artists that come and you have to compete with artists like every day, and the dancehall vibes. When you go into the dancehall, you know, you have to just hold the mic to get a bus. And now it's different. You just have a CD, you go to the radio station and get some airplay.
The 90s had these persons like Beenie Man, Lady Saw, and Bounty Killer. Up to today, Beenie Man and Bounty Killer still have swag. Right now, we have producers that are artists that are producers, and radio jocks who are doing both. With technology, the music is now diverse.
We are accepting music on a broader scale. One time gone till you want to hear hip-hop music or techno music being played in a dancehall setting. And that is happening right now. A lot of pop music is being accepted. Disco music, techno music, electro house music is being accepted right now. Hip-hop music is widely accepted right now. So we as Jamaicans, we are listening to a wide cross-section of music.
That means that we took music and turned it into Jamaican music, and we have given it back to the world, and everything has now come together. Kadeem, the tour done. See, it wasn't that bad after all.
For real, Grandpa. Really inspired by all of this. Well, out of many, we're really one music.
And you might yet become a good musician.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Yes.
Are you aware of how Jamaican adolescents use social media? What do they do online? What do they post? Do you know if they are being harassed? These are questions you should be asking yourself, because it is your duty to keep your children safe online. Parents, here's what you need to do. Be active online and offline. Help your child to set up his or her online profile. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the different social media applications that they use and set some rules. protect our nation's children, and save them from cybercriminal attacks.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister. She could be the next prime minister.
Sexual abuse is always a very difficult thing to confront, particularly when the alleged victim is a child. Parents, if it is that you suspect that your child has been sexually abused or is in a vulnerable set of circumstances where an abuse may occur, we encourage you to have dialogue with your child. Take the child to the pediatrician who normally attends to the child. If there is no such pediatrician, take your child to the clinic, to the hospital, to some medical practitioner who can do an assessment for you. It's very important as well that we don't just look at the physical side, but we also seek to find the kind of psychosocial support that a child may need. Does the child need a session with a counselor? Does the child need to speak with a pastor who is used to dealing with these issues? Does the child need to get that ongoing psychological support to assist with the healing process and also to assist the child in becoming strong enough, as it were, to deal with the various processes that will follow once it is that you suspect an abuse has occurred? If it is that the child actually discloses when you engage the child in discussion that, yes, mommy and daddy, I was abused, we encourage you to entertain the child, to listen to what the child has to say to you, and to take it very seriously. So we really urge you to have those discussions and to seek guidance in terms of, do I speak to the police about this, which we always say you have to, because once a child has been sexually abused, it's a criminal matter, and it means that once at all possible, the child should be assisted to go through the processes so that the perpetrator can in fact be held accountable. Support your child and let them understand in very clear terms that they are not the cause or the reason for this abuse having been perpetrated. But the most important element is to support them, get them access to the services that they need, and give them a chance to have you give them that listening ear. For these tips and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm. Thank you.
Watch what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister, cause she could be the next prime minister.
We've come to the end of another successful show. Remember that there is diversity in everything Jamaican. And for that, be proud to represent your nation. While doing so, remember to also uplift each other. As always, we invite you to visit our website, jis.gov.jm, YouTube channel, and our social media pages to stay informed. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.